Hi, I'm Charlotte Fitzgerald, and I have a painting challenge for you. Do a painting using just the secondary triad, purple, orange, and green. I mixed a range of greens, warming some with the orange and cooling some with the purple, adding white to make some lighter, and using some just straight without any white for the darker ones. I block in the composition with a light gray color mixed from all three colors plus white. I also mix up a range of oranges modified with purple and some with the green, then a range of the purples modified with the other two colors as well, and added white to some of them. I'm working from a sketch of the composition that I did where I blocked out the lights, the darks, the half lights, and the half darks to simplify the composition. I try not to have too many value changes within each area. In other words, I keep the lights in the light areas, the middle values in the middle value areas, and the darks in the dark areas. The sky will be the lightest area because it's the source of light. And then the distant hills will be a half light, and part of the foreground grasses will also be a half light, but part of them, the ones more in a shadow area, will be a half dark. And then, of course, the trees, the upright trees, will be the darkest. I try to vary the size of the trees and also the interval spaces between the trees to make the composition interesting. The background hill is a half light. It's a soft purple mixed with purple and green and white. The light areas of the grass are the same value as the hills, but a warmer color. It's a mixture of orange, purple, and white. I switched to green, and I want the edge between the lighter areas in the grass and the darker ones to be soft. So I'm not switching to the darkest green at first. I'm making a transition by putting a lighter green there, and then as I get down towards the bottom, I'll get a darker one. And then I'm brushing those together just very lightly. That's a stiff bristle brush I'm using to brush them together. Then as I get closer to the foreground, I'm introducing the darker pure greens, which are a mixture of green and orange. The trees are the upright plane, so they'll be the darkest dark. I've mixed these greens with orange and chrome green, and some of the greens I modified with chrome green and purple. But I'm not putting any white in this because I want these to be the darkest one. That one has a lot of purple in it to give variation. I'm keeping the edges within the tree masses soft. I'm brushing them together because I don't want too many value changes in them, trying to make them just one big mass of trees. I'm brushing the bottom edge of the trees into the grasses to get a soft edge there. The trees in the distance aren't as dark as the closer ones. This helps them to recede in space. In that background hill, I'm putting more variation into the purples. I'm making some of the purples more of a reddish purple and some of them more of a bluish purple just to add interest to that area. I've added some purples into the foreground grasses just to unify the composition and to distribute the purples, but I'm being careful to keep them the same value, the same lightness or darkness as the greens so that they'll blend in. And then I'm taking a stiff bristle brush and very lightly, just barely blending them a little bit. I've turned the painting on its side to do the sky because it's easier to work along that edge with it turned on its side that way. The bottom of the sky I'm going to keep light, but I'm going to make that edge with the hill and the sky soft. I'm going to brush the sky right into the edge of those light purple hills. As I move towards the zenith of the sky, the colors get darker. It's still the lightest areas in the painting. And for each area, I make sure to use 2 or 3 different colors, but keep the lightness or the darkness fairly close together. The light oranges have some light purples in them, and then the light purples have some more of a blue violet and red violet with different strokes having different colors. I'm lightly dragging more paint over the underpainting, but paint is still wet, but using a very light stroke so that I can place more layers of color right over the top of the other while it's still wet. I added some yellows to the greens to give more variety to the greens.